For the best part of a decade, Europe has witnessed tale after tale of migrants dying at sea. And this year is no different, with the deaths of more than 500 people coming from the so-called Western Africa route, which has left Brussels seeking an agreement on the latest migration proposal at a high-level conference in the European Parliament Thursday.
We will be confronted with extra pressures because of the pandemic. The Sahel is exploding. This explosion in the Sahel can have an impact in the entire Western Africa. Look what is already happening in the Atlantic. Hundreds of people are trying to reach the Canary Islands through the Atlantic, one of the most perilous routes in the world. They are dying there. So there is absolutely need to give priority to a response from the European Union in terms of search and rescue, in terms of saving lives, in terms of predictability of disembarkation.
The Spanish Canary Islands have become the latest hotspot for refugee and migrant arrivals in the EU. Between August and November, nearly 14,000 people arrived, a tenfold increase in comparison to the same period during 2019. October was also a tragic month for people crossing the Western Africa route. After over 200 people died at sea, almost half of the year's total so far. The European Commission will next week present an action plan which will stress the EU's need to find the right balance between integrating migrants and sending them back.
People who come to Europe legally need clear rights and they need to feel welcomed. Those who are not eligible for asylum or need international protection have to go back home because this is the only way to break, indeed, the vicious cycle of the ruthless smugglers.
Since the most recent wave of terrorist attacks in Austria and France, some EU leaders are asking for tighter border controls and stricter rules on the integration of migrants. But this combination might not be the best mix.
The large majority of terror attacks that have been committed in Europe over the past decade were committed by EU citizens, not by migrants. So I think it's a very blunt association to make. There's already a lot of legislation focused on protecting the EU borders in terms of the Schengen Border Code, but also in terms of the external border. The larger question is one of implementation, of the extent to which member states are actually applying the measures that are in place. Currently, we see significant gaps in the implementation of current EU legislation in terms of recognition of asylum decisions. They vary widely between member states.
And the divisive issue of migration is likely to be top of the agenda at December's EU-Africa summit.